Okay, there are a few problems there. One, we see that there are not that many girls attending the hackathon in the first place. And then two,
I would say a lot of girls don't have self-confidence in their ability.
So yeah, I guess I'll just start. So, like for those who I don't know, like nice to meet you, Arshia and Noah. I'm Lisa. Yeah. And so basically, I did do like a tiny bit of research beforehand. But for someone who just didn't know about NewtonHACKS, do you guys just want to do like a brief description of what it's about?
Yeah, sure. So I guess NewtonHACKS is basically an organization that we created to try and not only bridge the gender gap in tech, but also create an opportunity for beginner programmers in our area. Well, it started off in our area, but when we moved it to an online situation, we were so lucky to have so many people from different states and even different countries. So we're really grateful for that.
Wow, you really sound like a debater. Like literally that vibe. But so what prompted you to begin this thing? What sort of passion?
Well, I can talk about that and we can all just jump into that. Well, we all had a passion for programming and just STEM overall. Like personally me, we can all talk about like, you know, our own like, you know, backgrounds in STEM and all, but personally me, I was very fascinated with STEM, especially computer science and mathematics and just science overall, because it's just like such a broad topic where it covers so many aspects. And I really enjoyed computer science. So I wanted to create an organization with my friends and create just an online space where people can come together and create awesome projects.
Yeah, I've been coding since I was a little kid, and I've been part of like a lot of different communities that code, and I love how close like they are, even though like we don't know anyone actually, but like we kind of come together over the projects we share. And then one time we were just kind of like at a hackathon together, and we're like, hey, maybe we should do this. Like this is kind of fun.
Wow. And when was this?
This was this was like in December, right? Before the whole thing started.
Yeah, December or
like January.
Like yeah, the winter.
January.
Yeah, we all just kind of got together and we worked together on a project, and after we were done, we were like, it was tiring, but it was like really worth it. And we didn't win anything. We had so much fun, and we were like, I wish like, you know, other people get to experience this.
Yeah.
And just to add on a little bit, so like everyone else, like I love coding. It's something I'm really passionate about. And I've been going to hackathons since like middle school. And I think my first one was in like 7th grade. And like since attending my first hackathon, I've always felt like pretty intimidated by other older high schoolers and their like really high level coding skills and high level projects. So it kind of like scared me a bit from attending more hackathons and getting more exposure. And after like seeing this happen over and over again at every event I was going to, I kind of realized that there was not really an opportunity for beginners to kind of like think freely and openly and not feel that scared, like intimidation that you would feel. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would just add on to that. I haven't been extremely STEM focused, but hackathons were like kind of a fun thing that I used to do with my friends. And whenever we went to a hackathon, it was hard to like grasp knowledge or grasp different coding concepts that you learned that day. So let's say we started learning a new language and then we had to make a project out of that language. It was really hard. So I think what we tried to make that a little easier for our hackathon as well, you know, like having people learn things before the hackathon so they can practice it and they can use it in their projects. So I think we learned a lot from just going to hackathons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add on one more thing, just to add on to Preethi, how like she said the workshops, we're basically holding workshops. We held 6 workshops in total prior to the hackathon, to the event. So because, you know, this is all focused around beginner programmers and just programmers in general who want just a safe space to like explore their possibilities within computer science. So we're just giving them workshops with experienced programmers who are instructors and just people who know computer science much more than us and just are in the field already. So they've learned many languages.
Cool. And just sort of following off of that, when you said that you guys are dedicated to teaching beginners, how do you guys structure the program and to make this type of dull thing, like programming that might have been seen on the outside, to be more engaging, especially to the young people?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we can't make people who aren't interested in programming sign up for the event. So definitely, like, we're mainly focusing on people who are interested in it, but kind of like a little bit scared of trying it out for the first time at like a really big event, or nervous about, you know, coding a project in 12 hours. We're kind of like giving more of those people who are focused on that specific interest a space to kind of open up.
Yeah, and a lot of our workshops are kind of structured off of like, we take a language and then we do something like cool with it. Like we did Python recently and we taught them how to like do a face detection software. Like not like, we did like the basic like intro stuff, but we also kind of like built onto something more interesting so they could kind of like work towards like a greater goal and be more into the project. Yeah. And a lot of the teachers were like really chill and they were really like hands-on. They let people like share their screens with the class so the whole class could kind of like see what was going on. And
we know that coding can be like a lonely thing to do. You know, you're just sitting in front of your computer and you're making some software. Who knows where that software is going, right? So when you're learning it, we know that it can be lonely. So we tried to create like a very collaborative space. We wanted people to meet each other and to see what they could create together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in general, how do you guys reach out to your target market, since you guys are targeting beginners?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think, honestly, like registration and waiting for people to register has probably been the hardest part of this entire process, because it's one thing to like inform people about the event, but we can't do anything about it if they sign up or not. So just waiting for more people to register and like being patient about it has been really hard for us, because we've put so much time and effort into it. But thankfully, like we see a lot of people are signing up. I think we have almost like 65 now, and hopefully we'll get a couple more before our event.
Yeah, we were having like a little bit of trouble like targeting people in the beginning. Like we have an Instagram and we have people follow it, but then Preethi like came up with a really smart idea that we don't have to just target people who live in our area. We can use anyone, because like we have people from like Australia signed up. Like it's random, and I love that. So we have a Slack and we have an Instagram, like your classic like social media stuff. But we're also like
go ahead.
Sorry, we're relying a lot on like word of mouth. Like we've noticed that like people like who signed up also have friends who've signed up, and like they kind of spread it. So I feel like that's like a major component.
Additionally, we've been like spamming emails to like everything computer science related in the area, so that they'll inform like whatever students they have, like coding schools or other high schools, like the middle schools in Newton. And we've been trying to get them to like inform whoever they know about it too, so that we can get more.
Yeah. Then how do they agree to that?
Sometimes we don't get a response. Obviously, not everyone's gonna respond to it, but usually they like send it out in their newsletters, or you know, they put it on their website or something, put it on their social media, something like that.
Yeah, and we know that it's harder to connect during COVID-19, especially since everything is online, and businesses are, you know, getting bombarded with all these emails and requests from everyone. So what we do is we try to, you know, target places that we know are inclusive and have a lot of programmers. And we also try to target places that are, you know, teaching programmers. We try to find people in colleges or in high schools who we know might be interested.
Cool. So do you guys just make specific deals with individual corporations or schools?
So currently we have 3 media partners that we kind of connected with in the beginning, and we haven't really made official deals with any of the other places that we've looked at, but I guess the most official that it comes to are these 3 media partners we have. So
yeah, then how do you make media partners?
So we have some people that we know from like another school. I think it's Acton Boxborough, right?
Yeah, so one of my friends, actually, she does debate too.
Yeah,
she started
sorry. they started this also like something really similar, and we were just like, hey, we both do coding, why don't we just like, you know, make like shout each other out and like, you know, let each other know that other people exist, like kind of just like a mutually like beneficial thing. And I think that helped us.
And this is basically based off of connections, and just like Saakshi had a connection from debate with her friend, and this is mostly based on connections, but also just like reaching out to people and organizations that can help us. And I know Noah's aunt, I think, is one of our media partners too. There's also another connection. And in terms of sponsors, we also do sponsors where they're helping with like different organizations are helping us sponsor our event, just run the event, especially in terms of, you know, giving prizes, helping our website, things like that.
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit and we don't want to make people pay for our events. So we really rely on sponsors to help us run our events, because we want it to be a fun event for everyone, and we want to have good prizes. So we really rely on sponsors.
And sometimes, like really, really few of the times, some companies reach out to us. Like one of our media partners, Ambidexter, they're this startup in the Philippines, like so random. And they were just like, do you guys want to partner with us? And it was in the really beginning, so we were super excited about it.
Damn.
Yeah, we're thankful for all of our media partners and sponsors for helping us out this whole time. So yeah.
I sort of kind of just want to learn more about how this negotiation process works. So whenever you have a sponsor, then they sponsor you with like outreach and probably other kind of stuff. Then like, what do they comparatively get in return?
I can talk about that because I've been reaching out to sponsors. So basically the first process is just like, you know, finding their contact info and just emailing them and, you know, being persuasive so they can actually reach out and email you back. And they look at our website and they see if we're a potential, you know, sponsoring, you know, thing. So then they look at our website and reach out, and then we talk about like our deal sort of. So they can get, you know, they can go on our newsletter, our social medias like Instagram and Facebook, and then our website too. So they also get lots of what's the word? They get lots of like
advertisement,
yes.
Promotion.
Promotion. And then they give us money too, and prizes, which helps us run the program.
When we started emailing people, we just came up with like a list of like 3 things that our sponsors would get, and then we came up with a list of like what they would give us in return in our emails, so that we kind of made everything super straightforward and clear for them.
If I can add on, we've been doing a couple like cold calls. We just like call random businesses, like local businesses in Newton that might help us out. It's like a hit or miss, but like I feel like it establishes like a more personal connection, and I feel like it's beneficial to us that we're advertising people, because like if people know a brand and they're sponsoring us, it makes them like be like, oh, that's cool, like Hintwater is sponsoring us, like I know that company, like they must be important, you know, like it makes us seem like we have a lot of people who like our event, and then we like sponsoring them, so they get a lot of free advertisement.
And just to sort of go off on that, because that sounds like a ton of time, right? Because you have to email all sorts of corporations and then call this or that company. Then how do you guys divide your work, or do you just find others to do it for you?
Well, we can just list our titles quickly and some of the basic stuff we do, but Saakshi, if you want to go first.
Oh, listing titles or just how we make it work?
Yeah, your title and
Oh yeah, sure. So I'm Saakshi, as you know, and I'm the executive director.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say I'm the director of finances. So part of that has to deal with like when we get money from sponsors, how does that help us buy prizes? What prizes do we buy? And all of us also work on outreach. We're always working on the social media side as well.
Yeah, I do communications, so a lot of the social media stuff kind of falls to me. And then also just like as a kind of thing that I like to do, I like organizing like everything that you guys have. Like they have a Google Doc, I put everything in insanely meticulous files. Like I love organizing stuff, but I do a lot of like the social media and just kind of like making sure everything's just like working in that sense.
Yeah, and I'm the director of planning. So I would also say that like all of us, we do have our own titles and we do stick with those, but we all like work as a team too. We all like not divide and conquer, but we just conquer as a team.
Yeah, we meet up a couple times a week just to discuss where we're at, what we can do, and then we do a lot of stuff together when we're there, just like, oh, we should email this company, and then someone drafts an email and we all like critique it. Like, it's not like a one-man job.
Yeah, I'd say for us, we don't really do like, if I'm executive director, well, okay, executive director is kind of a bad thing to an example of, but like Preethi, for example, director of finances, she isn't only working on finances the entire time. She hasn't been doing that the entire time. She's been like making all of her social media posts. She made a really awesome video for NewtonHACKS, and she like edited the website amazing. So like she, like for example, she's been doing a lot of other stuff that are not related to finances that has helped her.
Yeah, she's been super helpful with this like online tool that we've been using to kind of like draft our posts, like make it look nice. So like if you've ever been on her Instagram, you'll know that like everything is color coordinated. That's on her.
Yep.
Like, she comes up with that.
Let's go, Preethica.
A quick summary of everything is that we play on our strengths. So we all do things that we know we're good at.
I think, yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm. So basically, are the five of you, are like the five of you, I mean the four of you like mainly in charge of doing everything, or do you guys each individually also recruit people?
By recruiting, do you mean like adding on to our team, or?
Yeah.
So as of now, it's only the four of us. Definitely, as this gets bigger in the future, we would definitely want to think about recruiting more people. But right now, it's pretty small, and we started this like 2 months ago. So we're definitely just in the beginning phase.
I can't believe you started this like 2 months ago, and now it's like so big.
We were so bored.
Me too.
We were like stuck in quarantine, and we're like, hey, we remember how we like thought we were gonna do a hackathon in person? Why don't we like
December?
do that?
I mean, I would say it was actually Noah who prodded us to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I was like, I got so
Him
bored. My mom was like, you should do something, and I was like, okay, and then I just like spammed them until they decided to like meet up.
Wow.
And then I like did not stop working on it. I was like obsessed.
Yeah, she went with it. She took that idea and she just ran.
Yeah.
Oh.